My only challenge is going to be this. Okay, we've cared about a lot of other people over the last 60 years. It is time to start caring about you and your wife. It's time to start caring about your end of life care. Just like your clients come in and they go, I don't have a trust. I need a reverse mortgage. You're going to be in that position, not in that exact position, but in, hey, I need some help later in life if we don't get things changed right now. Like this is like, we can't start today. We got to start yesterday.
If you think wealth is about luxury cars, designer jewelry, or exotic vacations, you're in the wrong place. We're not concerned about your net worth, your 401k, or how much debt you have. Our approach is much different because real wealth isn't only about money. It's about freedom. Freedom to work because you want to, not because you have to. Freedom to pursue your purpose, live on passive income, and build a legacy. That freedom starts now. Welcome to the Real Wealth Formula with Brad Hovis, where each episode breaks down the principles, mindset, and practical steps to help you experience financial freedom today. Real talk, real numbers, real freedom. This is the Real Wealth Formula.
This episode is brought to you by Rebiz.com. You've probably seen the same old stuff in your feed. Invest in a franchise, start an ATM route, buy a car wash, launch a vending machine side hustle. Cool ideas, but here's what they don't tell you. The good ones are way too expensive, and the cheap ones barely cash flow. But there's a business model that's quietly producing big paydays as well as monthly income for people working from home, a coffee shop, or even out of their pickup truck. Visit Rebiz.com, that's REIBIZ.com, to see how it all works. What's up, moguls? Welcome to the Real Wealth Formula. I am here with Dr. B. Dr. B, please introduce yourself.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me on today. I'm excited about being on the show. I think about personal finance, as we're talking about it today all the time, because there's a lot of mistakes that I've made. I am what they call a serial entrepreneur. I try to make sure that I'm bringing in money, and which I do. I bring in lots of money. At the same time, I try to spend money a lot. And so just a little bit about me. I have 8 children.
8 kids.
I
wow.
have 8 children. The youngest just turned 29 last month.
Wait a second. Your youngest is 29?
My youngest is 29.
Oh, okay.
I just turned 60 in March.
Okay.
I know I don't look like it. I look really good.
You're great.
For somebody.
You look better than me. I look more 60 than this guy does. Jeez.
I have 16 grandkids.
Oh, wow.
And so they are the love joys of my life. I can't wait to spend time with them. And at the same time, I grew up here in Denver, Colorado. I went to Cherry Creek High School. I was I was called a special ed kid then. So back in the day, it was just crazy. So I was in different trailers, allowed to come out. I just happened to be a pretty good athlete. So I wasn't going to college. I was going to stunt school. I wanted to be a stunt man. That's all I wanted to do. Stunt man. I want to go to Hollywood.
Like movies and doing the stunts.
Movies in Hollywood. And I was enrolled in stunt school. And my mom told me, she said, if you would just go to college, I had scholarship offers. I was an athlete, so I was doing good. She said, if you just go to college, I will buy you a Jeep when you graduate. And for me at 18 years old, okay, forget stunt school. I want a Jeep in 4 years. And so I enjoyed running track. And so I went to school. I went out to school in California and began my life out there. And I just had a ball. I had some athletes that I coached that became stuntmen. I was really jealous of them. But however, I never got into it and came back here to be a teacher. When I came back.
Wait a second. Let me cut you off just real quick. You did go to stunt school?
No, I didn't go.
You didn't go?
I didn't go, but my athletes went. And they're stuntmen. I see them at the movies all the time. And I'm mad. Yeah.
Okay.
I was sad. I'm like, what was I thinking?
Okay.
But I get a family and do the things that you do. And I got a degree in communications and education. And then I was coming back to Colorado to teach. Well, in Colorado, I had to take a test to be a teacher. This was in like 1988. And they told me that I had to pass a spelling test in order to be a PE teacher in Colorado, which I couldn't pass. I just said it wasn't going to happen. And so back to California I went, and then started teaching there, and then got into doing financial services.
So wait a second. Colorado, they said, hey, you can't spell, you can't teach. California's like, yeah, come on down.
Well, I think California realized to be a PE teacher, right? I'm blowing a whistle. I'm saying run laps. I'm saying here's how to do a Frisbee. I don't know why I thought, onomatopoeia or whatever you call it, right? Why do I got to spell that word in order to be a PE teacher?
Yeah.
But yeah, Colorado had that as one of the things. And so I went back to California, 25 years there, and then came back here about 15 years ago.
So I'm so curious to dyslexia. How does that manifest for yourself right now?
So now, some of it I felt like it was just a sign of the times. Like, I don't think if I was in school today, I don't think they would put me in special ed classes. But as a Black student at Cherry Creek High School with 3,000 students and 35 of us, 20 of us were in special ed classes.
No kidding.
So back in 88, it was, we were trying to figure it all out.
So wait a second. There were 30 Black students
35,
and 20 of them
in special ed classes.
Special ed.
Yeah. So there's our school system for us.
That's an odd situation.
Yeah. But I do have, like spelling and words getting mixed up, and I've had accommodations. And I realized when I was doing my PhD, I finally got to the point where I'm now going to and asking the school for accommodations like I always do. And they said, we don't have anything in this level. You've hit the level where we can't accommodate you. Go figure it out yourself.
Because you have
because of the learning disability that I have, the dyslexia that I had. But what I realized is the equalizer was technology. So back in like 1992, really before the internet, I got my master's in educational technology where I could begin to speak to the computer instead of trying to type words or write words. And that was the equalizer for me because it put me on the same playing field, I thought, as everybody else, where I didn't need to have to be able to spell a test, right? I could say to the computer onomatopoeia and it would show up.
Interesting.
On there. And so that became the equalizer that set me, I'm pretty bright.
So how did you become Dr. B?
So I literally
with dyslexia.
With dyslexia. So like I said, I had the accommodations, I had extra time for testing, all that kind of stuff. Even in college, they sent me to a special writing center because I missed a lot of it. I think I could have accomplished it, but because they had me out in a trailer during elementary, junior high, and high school, I was doing the same things over and over again while everybody else is progressing. So you think of an English class, you're learning about how to structure sentences and how to do grammar and how to write, whereas I'm in a trailer just reading, and doing stupid stuff.
And hating it.
And hating it.
I bet you hated school.
Oh, gosh.
So what type of doctor are you?
I have a PhD in educational leadership.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's what I have. And
so you've been in the education field.
I've been in the education field, but then from like 2000 to 2008, I had a mortgage company and I was in financial services. So I was doing that stuff and helping people and learning sales process and, and then everything fell apart in 2008. And so, because I left my job as an elementary school teacher. Well, I was an administrator at the university. I was in charge of a master's in ed tech. Then I wanted to start my own business. So I went to an elementary school, took my kids to school, did PE so I could get off at school at 3:00 and then work on my business from like 4 to 10 every day.
You know what? I have talked to a ton of teachers and have said the exact same thing, because I do real estate investing, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of the stuff that we do is part-time. And I said, well, why don't you just do it on nights, weekends, and then when you're on the breaks, like you got summer break and Christmas break and all this kind of stuff. And they go, it's just too hard. It's just too hard. I'm glad to hear. So now I can say, hey, watch this episode.
Yeah, watch this episode.
Dr. B did it. You can too.
Yeah, it is absolutely not too hard. Although I have respect for like elementary school teachers who just put the world into these kids for 8 hours a day and then they're just tired because, our kids are not.
They're not easy to deal with.
They're not easy to deal with.
So were you in high school education then?
So I started out in high school, then I went to the university, and then I went to elementary school. Elementary school was the last thing I did. Then when I came back here in 2009, after everything kind of fell apart there, came back here in 2009, and I worked at Montbello High School, which was like a junior high school scenario that I did over there just for 3 years. And then I became an administrator or executive director of a nonprofit called Rural Worms and Ninth that dealt with homeless services. Then I ran a 50-bed facility. Then I got back. I've been doing Living Trust since 2001. So like I said, I'm all over the place. I am all over the place with just things I love to do.
I purposely don't do a lot of prep work. Mm-hmm. I mean, my team does to make sure that we're fit. That this will be a good conversation. Yeah. But I don't know. Like I looked up a few things right before here, and it was such a long resume. I said, okay, I'll just listen to what this guy has to say. If you're an active real estate investor and you're not using FreedomSoft, I got bad news for you. You're getting beat. Beat by other active investors who've been utilizing this CRM software for well over a decade. We're able to close deals faster, more consistently, and with higher margins. So if you're tired of getting beat, go to realwealthformula.com/sponsors and click on the FreedomSoft link. Start doing more deals today. So what are you doing now?
So I have a living trust business. So, I think I have 24 advisors that work with me to do that. I do reverse mortgages. I'm in the reverse mortgage world. So I'm own part of a mortgage company that's out of Florida. I just started a community called Becoming the Person Universe, which is all about helping people become the person that they were meant to be in order to do what God put them on this earth to do.
Interesting.
So I have that universe. I do speaking. I have the podcast. So I have about 450 episodes in my podcast.
Wow.
I play with my grandkids.
Yeah.
I have an amazing wife who has an embroidery business. Yeah. And so I help her as much as I can, although she keeps me away from the machines because it says Dr. B here would probably say
did she do
Dr.
that?
Yeah.
She did?
Oh, would probably say like Dr. R or something if I did it.
That looks really good.
Yeah. So this is screen print. She does embroidery as well. And so she's amazing. She does some really
because that's not the embroidery.
This isn't the machine that puts this is just like a screen print where we put it on. But I have some of these shirts that have actual embroidery.
Looks great. So tell me about your living trust business. What is that?
So Living Trust is, basically, I've been working with a group. They were called Legacy Legal before when I was in California. They've now changed their name, rebranded to the Estate Gurus. And there's over Estate Gurus. And we can do trusts in all 49 out of the 50 states. We can't do Louisiana because of Napoleon law instead of British law. Okay. The rest of the 49 states are all British law. Yeah. And so we just make sure folks don't go to probate. That is the number one thing. And I got story after story after story.
Oh, yeah. Well, we buy a lot of in fact, literally, we're dealing with a situation right now. And this is not a house that we're buying from probate. We're buying the house, but the lender, it was a private lender who lent money against this house, passed away. And now we're doing probate through the loan, not through the actual house. It's literally happening today.
Oh my gosh.
This morning as I'm coming on.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, just the way their laws are written.
It's so easy to do a trust.
Oh, it's so easy to do a trust, and everybody needs one.
It takes the headache out of everything for people.
7 out of 10 people who own a home in America do not have a trust or a will. A will just automatically goes to probate, and there's a whole bunch of reasons that wills aren't the best way to go.
Particularly in Colorado.
But the trust is such an easy process to do. And so I compete with like Hughes Law Firm. They did like 80,000, trusts since 1979, but we're half the price and do pretty much the same thing in the work.
That's great.
Go sit down with people. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into it. How much money are you making on a monthly basis? What's your income on a monthly basis?
Probably a little over 20 to 25,000 a month is what comes in. Now, what I keep varies every single month. And that's my biggest issue is figuring out, I think, so like on our tax return of last year is a little over 350. Okay. But then when, our net income after taxes is like 105 or something like that. So that is, so that puts you down.
Is this 20 to 25 coming to you personally, or is this what's coming into the business and then you're paying out expenses?
Coming into the business and then paying out expenses. Because I haven't figured out, and I need to figure out how to do personal income. And do I do an S corp? Because I have these little businesses that are not, big businesses. I'm like, okay, so how do I?
So are these being ran through an LLC? Mm-hmm. Why don't you just run the expenses through the LLC then?
Because I do. We do. Yeah, we run it through the LLC. But then it's always figuring out, because I've learned, I guess, from people telling me that unless you have an S corp, you shouldn't pay yourself. And then you just run expenses and everything through it. But then I got to have personal income, right? I mean, I have to have income that.
Well, I mean, you know Warren Buffett.
Yeah, there's.
Do you know his personal his salary is
like $100,000 a year, something like that?
That's right.
Yeah,
he makes billions of dollars a year, right?
Yeah.
And so you're like, yes, you can but you get to set your own salary, and it helps you avoid those payroll taxes. Yeah. So then let me make sure I understand. Are you just funneling that money? So when someone pays the trust, they're paying the trust, mm-hmm. right? And then out of that, those agents that you've got, you're paying the agents. Mm-hmm. And then you've got you got some overhead.
I pay the attorneys for the actual trust.
Okay.
And then, a little bit of office expenses. We do make sure the deeds are all funded, so the trusts are all funded. So we got to pay the county and that kind of stuff.
But then you're pushing everything else to your personal, and then you're deducting it off of your actual income, your tax return.
Yes, I believe that's how we're doing it.
Oh, okay. We got to get you straightened out a little bit.
Thank you.
Just a little bit.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Yes,
we got to get you straightened out just a little bit on that.
And I read all these things on how to structure it. And then I listen to like 15 people how to structure it. And then you go, okay, I don't know how to.
It's actually really simple.
Okay.
It's actually really simple. In fact, the reason, so I'll explain it to you just right now, but I still have a lot more questions. Actually, I'll do it later because I want to get into some things. So do you have an idea about what monthly, like what your monthly personal expenses are?
Just personal. They're probably like 8.
Because you're kind of got business and personal going through all this stuff, right?
Yeah. We like our house, right? Our whole embroidery business is our basement.
Okay.
So then when you think of our house, so half of our house is business and the other half of our house is living.
Okay.
As we try to put stuff through, as I go do appointments and stuff, like how much of my
But you're officing out of the house, right?
Both of us are officing out of the house. So,
yeah.
And my wife was working she was doing some marketing thing for a company. So she was on a W-2 till about 2 years ago and then got laid off. So now she's full-time embroidery.
Yep.
And then I do get a W-2 from the mortgages, but that's the only place I get a W-2 is when I fund a mortgage.
And that's that mortgage, the reverse mortgage company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that one is W-2.
That one is W-2 because I believe you have to have it's so. Well, I'm not going to say that on the show.
I don't. I mean, you can say that you can say that the tax laws are dumb. I will agree with you on that.
Well, it's just because of after 2008, the whole mortgage industry changed and had all these rules and Dodd-Frank and all that stuff. Yeah. As you know, you're in real estate, so you're as aware of it. So now the way that loan officers get paid, is all which frankly,
after The Big Short. Situation. It makes a little bit of sense.
It has more control over it, but it's hard as a loan officer going, okay, so as our companies are trying to figure out. So let's say I do a loan and I make $14,000 on a loan. Now they want to pay me as if I'm making $14,000 every week. On my W-2 for tax purposes. You just go, this doesn't make any sense because I might not do another one for another month, right? I'm not making.
So you brought in $350,000, but you deducted a bunch of stuff. You left it with like $150 at the end? $105 at the end.
Yeah.
And then, but like what's being considered as business expenses are getting accounted for on the actual tax return.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then for you don't know. You haven't separated your business.
Not very well, no.
From personal business budget from personal budget.
Yeah. No, I tried to take a QuickBooks class. That was
QuickBooks for a dyslexic person.
Yeah, that would be. I watched the man talk for like 45 minutes, and as he was just explaining everything I had no clue of. So my wife tries to do it, and she does a pretty good job of it. But a bookkeeper, I am not. An accountant, I am not.
Yeah.
And so, I need to. We're at that place now where we're saying, oh, we got to actually hire somebody to do the books for us because we're just lost.
And you do, and they're cheap. And you can find, because they don't need to be full-time employees for you.
Yeah.
They're going to be, part-time. And there's services out there. So we'll get into that. So then let's get into some monthly expenses. How much is your mortgage?
$3,000.
$3,000 a month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How about utilities?
We got solar panels and that kind of stuff. So we're probably...
Do you owe on the solar panels?
Yeah. So one's a lease, and then they put another set on because the people who, before we moved into the house, I don't think they ever went to their house because they had like one panel. Like, why do you have one panel on the roof? That's so stupid.
I'll tell you why.
So we added a whole bunch of more because we're home all day and we're running businesses out of it. And so it was like we were paying $400 a month in addition to the solar panel.
But do you know why they put one panel?
Why they put one?
They got a tax credit.
That's the whole thing. They got.
It was a tax.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do about the efficiency. They just played the role.
Why work?
They just played the game and got. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So we got a tax. So we owe, I think, $50,000 on our panels.
Well, let's get into debt right now.
Yeah. So if you want to, we can do that.
So you got solar.
I'm definitely overextended on debt.
So solar, you got $50K in debt.
We have a second that's another $50K on our home.
Okay.
And then we probably have
on your first.
Yeah. So the first is 400,000.
Okay.
Right. 400.
So on just the house, you owe with all this, with the second and the solar, about $500,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's worth, I think last we checked was like 670 is what it's worth.
Okay. So you got some equity.
Yeah, some equity.
So you could sell if you had to, but you wouldn't want to. Got it.
Yeah. Where am I going to live?
What other debt do you have?
We have probably 80 grand in credit card debt.
80 grand in credit card debt, which, by the way, okay, we'll keep going. I'll get to in a second.
Okay.
Student loans?
I don't have any student loans
No,
anymore.
really?
Yeah. Well, my undergrad was paid for because I was an athlete.
Yeah.
And then it was crazy. I had when I got my master's, I think I borrowed $52,000 and then just kept going back to school, whatever. So it ended up being like $400,000. And then it just got, like 3 or 4 years ago, I was teaching, it just got erased, which was like the coolest thing.
Well, that wasn't the Biden thing. That was just the, hey.
It was right before Biden. Yeah.
It was just the whole, if you're a teacher, student, and you've taught for such a long period of time, it gets wiped out.
Yeah.
That's insane. How much did you get wiped out?
400,000.
400,000 in student loan debt forgiveness?
Yes, but how does 70,000 equal 400,000 if I'm not borrowing any more money? To me, it was like, this was insane. So, yes, super excited that 400,000.
Good for you. I mean, good for you.
Yeah, I'm excited that it happened, but at the same time, I'm going, what the heck? How fast compound interest actually compounds against you.
Yes.
People, we all talk, the rule's 72. Yeah, but right. But
I'll keep doing it. I'll keep doing a deferment. I'll keep doing a forbearance. And all of a sudden, $400,000 and then boom. Gone.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to die.
That's great.
Nobody's going to pay it because there's no way I'm going to pay out $400,000. I'm 60 years old. How am I going to pay out $400,000?
Yeah, that's great.
So that was awesome.
Car loans.
Car loans. Yes, we have probably $80,000 in car loans.
$80,000 in car loans. Okay.
Don't cry yet.
Personal loans.
Personal loans, I don't think maybe 50. Yeah, I don't think I have any personal loans. It's all either credit card.
What other debt do you have then? So you got the house.
we got a fifth wheel that's $25,000.
Fifth wheel. So no personal loans. So you've got $500,000 for the house, $80,000 for credit card, $80,000 in the car, and $29,000 on a fifth wheel.
Yeah, and then we have
$25,000.
My wife has business debt, machines. She probably owes another $70,000 in machines.
$70,000 in those machines. Holy moly!
Yeah, because each machine's $15,000. She's got 3 of those. Plus, she's got a big DTF printer, and then she's got sewing machines, and they're leases. They're this weird kind of leases where at the end of the lease you just own it. Like you owe $15 at the end of the lease and it's your machine. So she's got about another year on those.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So then let's figure out how much you're paying per month to service this debt. Those are just the balances. Because I'm a month-to-month kind of guy.
Okay.
Not an income, but I care about the monthly because it's something we can see and touch. Let's talk how much you're spending in the solar. How much you pay per month?
I think the solar's at 380, something like that. Yeah.
The second's
400.
400. And the first, you said 3,000?
3,000.
So your house costs you $3,800 in debt. Is that right?
Yeah.
$3,800 a month. Okay. Credit cards, how much you paying?
Like our total month is about $12,000 a month is what's going out every single month to pay for all this stuff.
On the debt side, $12,000 on the debt side?
I think it's the debt side. Well, that's what we know we have to pay in order to live every single month. It's
okay. Because I'd like to break it down a little bit.
Okay, a little more. Yeah. So the credit cards altogether are probably
how many credit cards do you have?
We have like 5.
5 credit cards.
Yes, sir.
Okay. $80,000 in debt. What does that cost you per month to just a service?
It's got to be $2,000.
You got 2 cars? 2 cars?
2 cars, $1,200.
$1,200.
And then the camper is $400.
$400 for that? You guys might want to move into that camper.
I know. We just went this last week. It was so
You just did what?
We just went, I got back yesterday from going out to St. Verlaine. And
oh, nice.
We're like, we're going to get rid of this. And then when you go camping, you go, we don't want to get rid of this.
Yeah.
But then we may have to get rid of this.
The machine.
The machine she spends for all 3 machines right at $1,000 a month, maybe $1,200.
Well, we'll call it $1,200 just
put $1,200 to be.
So we got 38. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, $8,600.
Yeah. So then there's got to be another Yeah, because like I said, we're at 12. Well, we got food, and then
so you're including
food, utilities,
that's
everything.
just debt, brother.
That's just debt. Yeah.
What did I just say? 8,600.
8,600. That's probably right.
8,600 in debt. How do you feel about that?
It sucks because when we moved into our house, it was like there was none, and then all of a sudden it just keeps growing, and then when she lost her, and then we said, okay, we need to invest in your business, getting going. So it was like, but then I'm 60 years old, right? She's 55, and going, okay, so what's going to happen in 10 years? And then I've been investing a lot in education as far as coaching and
like receiving coaching.
Yeah, receiving coaching
okay.
and doing. Like the community that I just started, that's going to be $500 a month
that you're paying,
that I'll be paying out. But people, I'm going to start making, I've already gotten, that's a word, right? So let's say just in the last week, I've had 10 people sign up at somewhere between $100 to $400 a year, and just, as it goes as a subscription.
$400 a year?
Mm-hmm. But I've had 10 people do it. So that's like $4,000 just in the last week. So if I can get 1,000 people into my community over the next.
But do you know how hard that is to get 1,000 people?
I think I can do it.
That's a lot of people.
It is.
Okay.
But we'll see.
Okay.
And if I was at a higher price point, then I wouldn't think about trying to get 1,000 people in. But it's a pretty low price point.
Yeah. I mean, like they say in the business world, you either need to sell 1,000 Hondas or one.
One jet.
No, Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Like they say in the business world, you got to sell 1,000 Hondas or one Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it works, right? So PropStream is the most comprehensive and AI-enhanced real estate data provider nationwide. We equip real estate professionals with powerful tools and marketing solutions, helping them make informed decisions and find top leads faster. Visit realwealthformula.com/sponsors for a special link to get a free trial and a ton of goodies only for you, Real Wealth Formula moguls. On the debt side, 8,600, man. I'm going to stay positive. Utilities. So like your electric bill.
Yeah, so electric bills maybe 100, 200 a month because we have the solar panels. Yeah. Water's 50.
Next to nothing.
Water and trash, $50, $60 a month. And
anything else in the utilities that's out there besides water, gas?
Water, gas.
You don't have to do trash.
Trash is part of the water bill. Yeah, but then that's like our HOA is part of our taxes.
Part of the PITI.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah, right.
So that's going to be part of that is a utility then.
Yeah. So you have that sewer thing that comes every year that's like $240.
Yeah.
But then our HOA is inside of our payment that we make on that $2,900 that we make.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're escrowing the HOA payment, huh?
We have to because that's like part of how where we live.
The development
doesn't do it through a separate HOA. Good things and bad things about it. I mean, good thing is you're not thinking about the HOA. Bad thing is those folks are just crooks.
Yeah.
They steal people's houses. That for a while somebody had a cracked window, and all of a sudden they sold their house and showed up to the house and said, "We bought your house went into foreclosure because you had late fees and you didn't know it."
Yeah.
We had one where the guy he divorced his wife and his kid lives in the home. He lived in Alaska. They said that they served him that the house was going into foreclosure. Has his signature on it, and he's saying, "How's that possible? I'm in Alaska. How did you get my signature on this piece of paper that says it's foreclosed on?" Yeah.
Wow.
Showing up. Green Valley Ranch that's where I live. It's called Green Valley
Ranch. Yeah. Yep.
It's had to mess with just tremendously poor HOA.
Let's talk transportation. What are you spending in transportation? Like your car insurance?
Car insurance is $600 a month.
Yeah. Well, you got 80,000. What kind of cars you guys driving?
Tesla.
2 Teslas?
Yes.
Oh man.
So I don't have to pay for gas, right?
Hey.
Well, so one of them I got the Tesla so that I could rent it out on Turo. And
Are you doing that?
I've been renting it on Turo.
How's that going for you?
At first, it was really good because I was
competitive.
It was super competitive. Now all of a sudden, everybody's got one, and so I was making $120 a day. Now it's down to like $60 a day.
And you're right by the airport.
And I'm right by the airport, so I'm in a good spot to continue to do it.
Have you considered doing more Turo?
I have, but I just think I did it wrong by the car I bought because I bought that Tesla just for that at a time when it was super popular. Everybody wanted it.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, I have this car that I owe $30,000 on still. And
you can go buy a low mile Tesla for like 20.
Yeah, exactly. So it's upside down. And so the only thing I can do is rent it out. And then now if I'm renting it out on once it does rent, but it's like now it's just a different, before when somebody's renting it, you knew they were going to probably take care of it because they're spending $120 a day to take care of it. At $60 a day, I just want, sometimes I'll look on the app and go, why is that dude driving 100 miles an hour down the freeway?
Really?
In my car.
Yeah, he just booming.
Gotcha. But I think it's a great model. And I think, if you just...
I'm a big fan of Turo. My dad did Turo. I use Turo almost exclusively now. And it's a great service for the consumer. But I can definitely see it getting overcrowded because anyone with a car can go put their... Yeah. As long as it meets the criteria of Turo, anybody can go rent their car out. It's the same thing that happened with Airbnbs.
Yeah.
Like, unless you have regulations, and I'm a libertarian, so I believe government get out. But like, unless you have regulations, it makes it really difficult to sustain this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes it really difficult because the next guy can just go and cut you. Oh, you're doing it at 60. We'll do it at 40 a day. You're like, how am I making any money?
How many days a month? I got to have it out for 20 days a month to, break even and make the payment and that kind of stuff. And now because I have a card that's so upside down, this would be the time to go get a different one that would be more conducive to, just somebody coming in and doing Turo. So I love the model. I just did it wrong.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So then transportation, that's car insurance, food. What are you guys spending on food? And it's just the two of you, right?
Just the two of us now. I mean, we had 3 grandkids that just moved to Boston in July. So
were they living with you?
And one was staying with us. I mean, like she was there every day being babysit.
Do you have anybody living with you now?
No, there's nobody living, just the two of us.
Is that like the first time ever?
Yes. But they come back.
Yeah. Like boomerangs.
They come back. Yeah. I think we had like a couple months one time where we were, but this has been, so July now. So you have July, August, September, October. So we're now into October. So we're now at 3 months with just the two of us.
So what's that?
Probably $800 a month in food.
Are you going out very often?
We don't go out a lot. I'm trying to stay healthy. Got, the diabetes things, was trying to reverse diabetes, which is working, but it doesn't work.
Explain that.
There is like...
So what happened? You got diabetes.
So they said I have diabetes. I'm doing my blood sugar. They're putting me on these stupid meds that make me feel terrible. I finally found a doctor out of New Jersey, Dr. Raj Gupta, which is just like this amazing. He says, okay, here's your diet. Here's what you can have. I haven't been on diabetes meds in almost a year now.
That's great.
None. And it's just because of the diet. And
is it more keto type?
Kind of like that. I was doing some intermittent fasting stuff, but it's more like no grains, no dairy, no,
sure.
No, the high end sugars, beans and stuff, the stuff that feeds on it. And then some of these diabetic drugs, like I went to the doctor, I'm like, I will not take metformin. He says, it's a miracle drug. I said, it's a carcinogen. People are getting cancer from it. Why are you giving me this medicine?
Yeah,
if you say it again, I'm going to slap you. That's what I told the doctor.
Yeah.
So I stopped all that and I feel great. I feel energy.
That's good. That's good. Okay. So then you said you spend about $12,000 a month, right? I've got you at 10,000, like 200. So you're pretty close. So then the extra money is for, what do you think?
Travel, entertainment, Hey, we got rid of some subscriptions to nonsense. Like I watch Paramount Plus once a week. So why am I paying $30 a month for Paramount Plus?
So you got rid of all those.
So
that's good.
We don't have cable. Most of the streaming service we don't have.
You got Wi-Fi.
We got Wi-Fi. So that is that's part of the utility, I guess. That's $130 a month from a stupid Xfinity. It's insane.
It's insane now.
We got cell phones, that kind of stuff.
What do you spend on your cell phone?
I think we're $200 a month for both of us.
That's a little high.
It is high, and it just
for two of you.
It just doesn't make because we were on the senior plan, and then we switched phones, and then I have.
Oh, is it because you're financing the phones, the actual phones?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just pay cash for them?
I don't know, because I have the iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's $1,500. I guess I should have just bought.
Pay cash for it.
Pay cash for it. Be done.
Get those monthly expenses down.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
So then, do you guys put money aside? I mean, you got 8 kids. Are they all in town? Are they all over the?
Most of them in California, Boston, and then we don't have any grandkids here right now.
So you have kids in California and Boston.
Yes, we split.
Do you travel a lot?
We're going next week to Boston.
Yeah.
And then we got back from California 3 months ago.
What do you allocate for travel?
We don't. We just go.
If you have it, you go.
Yeah.
You put it on the credit card. If you got balance on there.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's cheaper we drive a lot. So 2 years ago, we took the camper. This year, like 3 months ago, we just took the grandkids back because our kids dropped us off when they went to Jamaica. They dropped the grandkids off, and we drove them back to California. And the Tesla was pretty cheap.
I did an analysis one time of an RV. And wanted to see what the cost was, because you're talking about driving your fifth wheel, right? What the cost of that RV or fifth wheel or trailer or whatever versus flying. If you actually do the math on it, it's going to be pretty close to the same. It's not going to be a ton difference. The difference is really going to be in food, right? Like, are you going to go out to eat when you're in town, or are you going to cook food in the RV? That's pretty much the difference. But like when I go and travel, if I go to Buffalo, New York, I want to have buffalo wings. If I go to Texas, I want barbecue. Like I want to experience the culture there. So,
well, just give you, so we had our family when 2015, we took everybody to Hawaii, all our 8 kids and 1 grandkid at the time. 2 grandkids came out of it. So, and then every other year we do a family vacation. So this last one, we went to a campground in San Diego. So most of the kids could come down. Then I paid for Legoland. But the campground for all of us, there was 32 of us there. And I'm thinking, what would it cost for 32 people in a hotel for a week to be able to do all that we did in a campground with 3 camping spots?
Right.
That's where it pays for itself, is when you do the big trips. Plus, we just like being
together.
It's like this weekend. I mean, we just went to St. Verlaine, which is right down the street. And, the spots are $38 for being there. And then we just watched the water and that kind of stuff and ate our food. And
you're right. So I'm not saying driving it cross country gets up there.
Yeah, it is. And it's even cheaper to fly. It's like, why would I not just fly?
Right.
But then you think of the hotels are expensive these days. I mean,
so you think that the monthly amount that you're spending is $12,000 a month
for everything that
so that comes $144,000, but you made $350,000. Are you just sitting on a bunch of cash?
Well, no, because all the expenses, because that's like our gross income that came in. That's not like paying for
that's
the trust,
that's
paying
the
for
business
material and all the business.
The cost of goods
to do business.
So you have no real idea about what your personal income is, because that's going to be one of our things.
Brad, I'm glad you're here. We're doing this.
Yeah, we're doing this.
I love it.
So from an investments perspective, what kind of investments do you have? What kind of balances do you have? A 401k? Do you have any of that kind of stuff?
I have a 401k, but it doesn't have more than $40,000 in it.
Savings accounts?
Nope.
Zero. Checking account, you're basically paying enough to keep the business going and back and forth. Is that about right?
That's exactly right.
Okay. Rental property?
Nope. No rental property.
So,
because I lost 2 houses when 2008 happened.
Sure.
And we moved out. And so we just haven't. But you were able to take 2008 and make a killing. So I need to figure out.
Yeah.
So I think I'm right on that verge of I've been doing all these, different types of business. Like I do podcasting coaching. So I'm starting to make money podcasting coaching. I do speaking. So I did a couple speaking engagements last month and doing that. So I'm starting to, I can feel like I got 10 years that I can go make a lot of money.
Well,
save a whole lot of money.
What we're going to have to do. So what we're going to have to do is we got to tackle a lot of this debt, but we also need to tackle some business fundamentals that will help you out immensely.
Okay.
Just because if you can't see it, you can't adjust it. Don't expect what you don't inspect.
Yeah.
And so people think about that when they're running their business. Like for instance, your wife would never send out a embroidery piece without looking at it, right?
Of course,
like she's going to inspect it. And so it's the same thing with personal finance. Like if you can't easily see it, you're not going to be able to improve it. It's as simple as that.
Agreed.
And so we're going to get you to be able to do that. Question for you. Do you guys bank together, you and your spouse, you and your wife?
We do. And we have an account that has our person, like our Navy Federal account is both of our checking accounts.
Joint
account. Then I have a personal account with KeyBank, and then I have 2 business accounts with KeyBank. And she has a business account with First Bank and Square, I think, for her business account. So our businesses are separated out into different accounts, but our checking account, our personal accounts are different.
But what's going on the business is the income comes in on the business, and then you guys just transfer it right to your personal. And then you pay out of your personal the business expenses.
I mean, sometimes we pay the business expenses out of the business.
Sure.
But yeah, it's an LLC. But yeah, so
okay.
I will tell you point blank, we are screwed up on how to move money back and forth.
And it's easy. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be so easy.
Is it? Okay.
It's going to be so easy when we're done with this.
How could we get to here? How did I get here? But I am.
Yeah, that's where you are. So there's some potential issues. So now let's move on from there, because there's not really any investments going on at all. You've got $40K in a 401k.
It's all hinged on me and my ability to create income in the next 10 years. That's how I look at it, which is a scary place to be.
And even now and in the past and that sort of thing.
Well, because every time I bought a house or something like that, I've had like 5 different houses. I've always, hey, I got to take my money from my teaching, pension or whatever. Do
you have a pension?
I have. That's not. It's going to pay me $200 a month or something like that.
Really?
Because I spent it to buy a house.
What do you mean? You pulled money out of the pension?
Yeah, I pulled money out of the CalPERS or whatever it is to buy my first house.
To go buy this house.
This house I pulled out about this one I pulled out like $30,000, I think.
And on this house, is this first a 30-year fixed, or is it an ARM?
30-year fixed.
So with your second, what's that at? Is that the same thing, 30-year fixed?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get off the money side for just a second, and I want to get into purpose side. Purpose side.
I love it.
When your feet hit the ground, and you've got a lot of stuff that you have done and do, why do you do what you do? What's the reason behind why you're doing what you're doing?
I think, now when I think about like my podcast is called Living Boldly with Purpose. And I think about what purpose is and why God put me on this planet. And I really believe it is to help other people become that person. The book that just got shipped this week is called the Be Do Have book. It's becoming the person.
That's your book?
Yeah, it's called Be Do Have. And so that book is all based on becoming the person before you start to do or have. And I did it backwards. There's just so many times I say, okay, I want to have, because our society allows you to have it, right? Mm-hmm. And so I can remember when I was teaching at the high school, got the job at the university for 3 years. I felt like I was this coolest person ever. So I went and bought a BMW. They convinced me, went to get a 3 Series. I walked out of there with the 7 Series. That was a used one, but still, and I can remember driving around the parking lot at the university 3 or 4 times, just waving at people as if I have arrived or I've made it, right? I had no business thinking about a BMW at all. I should have just been, like if my teaching salaries at both schools aren't going to last forever. I'm working full time at both schools and I'm going, wait a minute. So how many times in my life have I tried to have and without becoming that person who deserved to be able, because I believe if you can become the person, then you'll do what it takes to continue to being that person. You just automatically do. Then you get to have. And we do it so backwards. And I'm finally realizing at this point in my life that, wait a minute, how do I help other people avoid those pitfalls and those mistakes that I've done? And so that's why, the Becoming the Person universe is all about having people like yourself who come in and talk to people about, wait a minute, try these other things first. Don't get to where Brian's at and just go, wait, I've had a great life. I've done a whole bunch of really cool things. But at the same time.
So how do you yourself feel about your personal finance situation?
It sucks. My personal finance situation is not, it's not even like, how could I have been a financial advisor teaching people how to save and do all the things? And there was a time like I was saving, I don't know, $3,000, $4,000 a month when I was, in the heyday of 2005, 6, 7. And then right after that happened, and I maintained my business for 6 months, trying to hold on to it, and spent like $120,000 on, office rent and all that kind of this, not knowing, just thinking it's all going to come back, losing a couple houses. And then I go, okay, so all of that went away. Just as, it took all that time to save it up, and it just went away like that.
Just like that.
Just like that. And now I'm going, okay, so now what do I do? Then I go and I start doing, nonprofit stuff. And then my wife is looking at me like, it's great. We even have like this business where we pick up furniture and then give it to homeless folks as if we moved them into apartments, and people would donate furniture. And I'm doing that every Saturday for like 2013 to 2018. I like, how am I making any? My wife's like, we're going to be broke if you don't go out and start making some money. Like, we're not going to be able to retire ever. Yeah. Because you're doing homeless services. And it was noble, and it was great to go out and do, but not at the scale I was doing it. It was making me feel good about who I was, because I was helping people. every single day. But at the same time, I'm looking at my family going, wait a minute, how do I balance that? So I think I'm doing a way better job of balancing. I'm just in a hole right now that I need to go, okay, so I believe 1,000% I can dig myself out of the hole.
Because your main business, though, is the living trusts, right? Mm-hmm. That's where you're making your income.
That's where most of it's come. Yeah, because like 2020, I make, I don't know, $200,000 in mortgages. Well, not anymore, right? Because of interest rates and everything else. And
how much do you think you made last year in the living trust?
I mean, I collected like 140,000, something like that is what came in. 140. Out of that 300, over half of it was.
So how much of that are you netting?
Probably half of it.
Half, because you give the rest, the commissions and whatnot.
Yeah. So you're right at 100,000 I netted probably last year. So okay. I probably made a little bit more.
I got to tell you, it's kind of hard to keep up with you. There's a lot of stuff you got going on, man.
Too much. And that's part of
you really do have a lot of stuff going on.
My life right now is, okay, what do I get rid of?
Yeah.
What do I concentrate on? What's going to bring me the most yield for the return, and how can I do this stuff? Like even like my books, I've written 4 books in the last 2.5 years, right? And so how do I get those working? I'm doing this weekend, I haven't even talked about this yet, but I'm doing a seminar on relationship versus AI. So I just finished a book because I was a technology guy. So I'm doing a big seminar this weekend. And then so the VIP portion of it is enrolling in the...
do people pay to come to that?
No, so that's free. But then if they come in as a VIP to get more, it's enrolling in my community, which is
the university.
Yeah, the Becoming the Person University.
So that is completely separate than your living trust.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want to do the living trust forever. I enjoy doing it, but it's not like I don't get out of bed in the morning going, I can't wait to do another living trust. I get out of bed in the morning. Who can I help today? And how can I help them? And so that's where I'm trying to migrate over to the Becoming the Person stuff and the speaking. But I have to have a base to be able to live.
Correct. And not just that. I'm glad you mentioned that. See, a lot of people think that the base that they ought to create in order to do this purposeful stuff is their work. And it's not their work. It's not their job. The base that you need to create is the passive income.
Yes.
Because if you've built that passive income, whether that's from dividend producing stocks, bonds, real estate, notes, royalties on oil, whatever, I've got a whole list of things that I'll send you that you can kind of get into from a passive income perspective. Now, once you have passive income, now you can go do this, becoming a person and writing all these books and all that kind of stuff. Because now it's like, if we get anything from it, it's cherry on top. If we get nothing, who cares? We're still not drowning.
Yeah. And that's kind of like the trust. I'm trying to really develop the advisors so that that's not part of what I do every day, right? So that the advisors go out. I guess to me, I think of it as passive, and maybe it's not really passive, but if I have...
It could be, actually.
50 agents...
You're talking about the living trust stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be. I mean, that's what if you can tell, that's kind of what I'm honing in on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you have other people who go out and get this business, and then you just get to be a part of the profit.
Exactly.
Why wouldn't you grow the heck out of that thing?
That's I decided a year. So now I have been growing. So every Wednesday at 5 p.m., I do a trust seminar for all of my advisors to bring people in. We're starting to get 10, 15 people every week that are coming to that. So that is what I am concentrating on, like 99% right now. I still want to do the Becoming the Person and that kind of stuff, but
how much time are you spending on each, would you say, per week, per month? Per week. We'll extrapolate it out of that.
Yeah, I probably spend, like my podcasting has got to be 10 to 15 hours a week. The Living Trust is probably 20 hours a week. The Becoming Universe stuff is probably another 10 a week. I do have an assistant that's in the Philippines, so I have a virtual assistant. Yep. That's like the best thing ever to kind of keep my calendar, to keep in the amount. So we have that. So we have people that we help get to have virtual assistants. So she kind of runs.
So is your podcast generating you any income?
A little bit, but not enough. Not enough to say, hey, I'm making money.
So from what sources?
For like Podmatch gives me money all the time to do it. I did go. I got a check for like makes $48 from YouTube. So I'm almost at that point.
There you go.
Where, I'm getting monetized there.
Yeah.
And then
how long have you been doing your podcast?
2 years now.
2 years?
2 years now.
Okay.
So a little over 2 years, because in 2024, I said I have 2 podcasts. One's called Journey to Freedom, which is all about helping Black men get unstuck. And so I said in 2024, I was going to do 100.
Another podcast.
I was going to do 100 episodes, and I did 105. So now we're at 220 episodes in that podcast. And then the Living Boldly is now at 150.
Journey to what?
The Journey to Freedom podcast. So, and then I took 18 men to Alabama in February, where we did a civil rights tour.
I am exhausted. Oh my gosh. I don't know how you feel. I'm exhausted listening to my gosh.
God. And I'm more excited about life now than ever.
And you get a ton of energy to 60 years old. You do not come off at all like a 60-year-old person.
Oh, cool.
Very, very good. I tip my cap to you. Very good job. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Like I said, too much stuff because I was planning on taking another group this January. We've been at the last 2 years. So those are like the ancillary portions of, when I started my podcast, it was called the Mile High Real Estate Spotlight Podcast. And the reason I was doing it, because I was heavy into doing the mortgages. And so I was interviewing all these real estate agents, and I was having them come on and just tell me all about them. And so that has now brought me business. I still probably get one loan every other month from doing that podcast, where I did 75 episodes.
And you're still doing it?
I haven't done an episode in probably a year, but I still get, because I develop relationships with all those real estate agents. So I think I may go back to just doing some of those, just because, it was, when I was doing mortgages, that was all of my referrals were coming from folks because I decided, hey, I'm not going to go sit down and do a coffee with you, and then you're going to all of a sudden give me your business. Plus, you don't want to do a coffee with me because you don't have time, and I'm just another lender. But if I call you and say, hey, would you like to be spotlighted on my podcast this week? And then I get to talk to you about how wonderful you are for as long as you want to. And then I give you the copy of the podcast, and you give it to all your people, so you don't have to tell everybody how good you are. I can tell everybody how good you are. And so it's a great formula for if I enjoy doing mortgages, but I don't enjoy mortgages at all.
Well, I mean, maybe we can see, I also deal with people who hate their jobs, right? Yeah. So if what we can do is, we call it a legacy link. If what we can do is figure out what it is in your life that really get you amped up, and we can associate the mundane tasks of your job to that legacy. Now, instead of checking the mail or returning a phone call because that's your job and you have to, now you're returning a phone call and checking the mail because that helps puppies get adopted.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
That makes so much sense.
Like connecting the mundane. So when people say, oh, I hate doing mortgages, the way I look at it is, well, you should probably not hate doing mortgages. You should probably put up with doing mortgages for now, because if mortgages get you money, it will then get you where you want to go.
And I probably should qualify that, because I love doing the reverse mortgage portion of it, where I'm talking to the senior and I'm helping them figure out how they're going to spend their life and that kind of stuff. The things that are just like the mundane things. So like, I have to pay for this software that allows me to do forward mortgages. And I have to pay $120 a month every single month just so I can do, but it has nothing to do with reverses. So I wait till the reverse closes, and then I go in and put in the information in this stupid software that you just go, I'm really spending an hour putting this in and the loan's already closed.
Yeah.
Just so you guys can figure out how to pay me.
Yeah.
That's the part of.
Well, that's what you get your VA to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can do that.
It is so
okay. So Dr. B, I got to tell you, man, you have a huge heart. You have a really good, look at that. I got a whole page of notes here. Like this is a lot of stuff going on.
Cool.
I think I'm ready. Is there anything else I need to know before I start giving you a wealth review?
No, I think you're good. I think you know my heart. What I want to do. You can tell what I'm passionate about. And
yeah.
Just help me get to. I don't see myself ever retiring. I just want to be in a position where if I don't work for a month, or I don't work for 3 or 4 months, or I don't go do a talk or a speech or help somebody, that
you get paid to do those speeches.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Roughly, what are you getting paid?
Well, the most I've ever gotten paid on a speech is $5,000. The least I've gotten paid on a speech is $20, so it's somewhere in between there.
How often
I'm signing up
those?
For more. Right now I have one scheduled every month, for the next 6 or 7 months. And so.
Do you tell them a set honorarium or a set price?
So it just depends on who calls me, because I'm not really that good at it. I mean, I'm good at speaking. I'm just not that good at the business side of it yet.
Sure.
So I've been working with a group called the Speaker Lab and a couple other places.
Grant Baldwin.
Yeah, Grant Baldwin.
Yeah.
So I've been doing some stuff with them. And then there's the Speaker Hub, which is like a place where you can put out feelers to be able to do stuff.
Yeah.
So my VA is putting out 10 to 15 a day to get me. I just did a Zoom thing in Texas.
Why wouldn't you have her get a set price for you?
Yeah, I will. I want to have enough.
Have her do the sales for you.
Yeah. I think that's where I'm almost.
Good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Who cares, right?
Well, all they can say is no, right?
All they can say is no, or hey, our budget is this, right?
Yeah.
So
I love doing keynotes at the beginning of
events. What are you speaking about? What would you like?
So I spent on becoming, the person, or I speak on AI. AI has been a big one that people.
I'm going to say you said relationships versus AI.
Mm-hmm. So AI is because my master's is in educational technology, and so I used to teach at the university on technology. So I love technology.
What university was it?
I taught at Cal State San Bernardino, UC Riverside, San Diego State.
Dude, you got a resume, brother. You got a resume. Goodness gracious!
All those places. So I was in charge of the master's program at Azusa Pacific University.
Oh yeah,
is where I was.
That's where the Jesus movement happened. Was
that's where it started.
Pacific.
19 something. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where. So I love doing AI, but the relationship side of it's even more important. And so I've also been coaching for 38 years.
Coaching what?
Track and field.
So
I'm a track and field official. I started the state track meet this last year.
You're an official,
but I'm also a coach. I coach high school. I keep saying I'm going to quit. My wife tells me I'm going to quit, and I'm like, I got to. But then there's always that one last athlete, right? Because I've coached some Olympians, I've coached some state champions. I got like 21 different championship rings.
No kidding. Wow.
From the time I started doing it. So that's the one consistent thing. It obviously doesn't pay any money. It's just because I have some time.
You enjoy it.
I enjoy it a lot. And just because it's coaching, right? It's coaching people how to get better at what they do. So.
Okay. Time for a wealth review. I got to take a breath here. I got to get some oxygen. All right. Reduce your monthly expenses. Buddy, we got a lot to work with here, man.
How do we do that?
It's going to be actually in the second step, which is enlarge your active income, because you've got to start netting more money.
More money. Gotcha.
You got to net more money.
Okay.
It's mortgage. It's realtors and mortgage brokers. They care about the top line. I give two craps about the top line. The top line makes you feel big and strong. I care about the bottom line. And so one of the things that we're going to get into is how do you understand what your bottom line actually is?
Okay.
Who cares that you made $350,000? That means nothing to me. If you made $350,000, but you in order to
400.
then you're down 50.
Yeah.
Like, why would we do that? Right.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. So on the reduce your monthly expenses, I don't see a lot of lavish living here. You eat out, you eat at home. You do a lot of travel because you got kids from Boston to California. But like, I don't see a lot of frivolousness. We had people in here who are, Prada and like trying to keep up with the Joneses type situation. I don't get that vibe from you. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's super fair. I'm not lavish. The two cars we need. I want to get rid of one of them just because
I think where you're spending your money is in your credit card debt is probably mainly business stuff.
It is. It's almost all business.
You're not vainly spending money.
Yeah.
You are trying to listen to. You bought into one key lie that in order to make money you need to spend money, and that is a lie. That's 100% lie.
Okay.
In fact, if you read the book Ready, Fire, Aim. Or for you, if you get the Audible book for Ready, Fire, Aim, since you're dyslexic.
I love it.
He talks about, testing out what will work before you start opening up shops or spending a bunch of money in marketing and all kind of. That's why it's called Ready, Fire, and then Aim. Right.
Okay.
And people think that you need money to make money. You don't.
Okay.
You just don't. You need to test the market, see who's giving you the money, and then build out the rest of the business.
Okay.
So that's one of your major issues. The credit card debt that you've got, the equipment stuff that your wife has. In fact, I would say, how did that second mortgage come into place? Did you pull money out to go buy some business stuff?
Yeah, that's exactly what we did.
It's like I've done this before, huh?
Yeah, you've been where I'm at. Yeah.
I've heard this stuff, right? And so what we have to do, we've got to cut business expenses.
Okay.
Okay. First, we've got to identify what those business expenses are. Then we've got to cut them. So I'm going to create a plan for you here.
Okay.
So on the reduce the monthly expenses, man, we got some work to do. So I'm going to give you a 3 out of 10. I know that that's not great.
It's better than 1.
It's better than 1.
Right?
E, enlarge your active income. I'm actually going to give you on this side, I'm going to give you a 10 out of 10. And here's why. You're making good money.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is we don't even know if you are making good revenue. We don't know if you're making good profit.
Right. Yeah.
Those are 2 separate words, right?
Yeah.
And so you made $350,000 last year and you're making several $1,000s a month in speaking. Like, that's good money. A lot of people don't have that opportunity. Your resume is such that the way you speak is so good. People want to hear what you've got to say. Mm-hmm. Like, you've got a lot of really good things going on here. You have a main hustle that you spend not as much time that I think you should spend on, which I'll get to in a second, in the trust business, the trust and the mortgage business. Those you ought to look at as one business.
Okay.
Because the people who need a trust might also need a reverse mortgage.
Absolutely.
The older people, like you're selling 2 products to the same client. You would do the exact same marketing for that same person, pretty much.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
End of life care, like end of life planning is what you're dealing with, right? So both of those I'd be, combining. But from a enlarge your active income, dude, you're there. We can actually make that larger. So you're in good shape from that perspective. A, which is acquire passive income. You have been investing in your businesses using debt to invest in those businesses.
Yes.
Okay. So you've not actually been investing. You've been acquiring liabilities, which is not investing.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, but it's going to take a few changes. That's going to be a couple of years, though. That's a problem because the debt situation is it's up there. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now the good news is you don't have any kids at home. You're not having to pay for private school. You don't have any grandkids. So like it's just you and your wife.
Yep.
And the 2 of you can make an adjustment, and then all of a sudden you're going to see a total of $670,000 in debt.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to get rid of that very quickly. Okay. So I'm not going to give you a 0 out of 10 on the acquire, because you do have the ability to earn income and then hopefully start acquiring that passive income. I'm going to give you, again, a 3 out of 10 on that. Okay. Living on passive income. Let me ask you one question. If you could have done this whole thing all over again and started acquiring dividend-producing stock, interest-bearing bonds, interest-bearing notes, rental property, instead of use that money to invest in all of these different business things, and it had passive income that eventually became larger than monthly expenses. If you could do it over again, would you want to be having a better focus towards acquiring passive income or investing in those businesses the same way you did?
Yeah, absolutely. I guess the lie that you're sold doing all the multi-level stuff, right? Because I was Amway or whatever, and then or finance group, and then, and I was good at it. But that was that lie of always having to look like this in order to get that next person who would join that would do stuff. That's where I think I faltered in the big way, instead of just building it and not caring.
Yeah.
Like some of the trips that I took, folks on, and some of the, why do I need to ride on a private airplane? But I don't have money to ride. That half thing that I just talked about.
Yeah.
That's what I would have built it. I would say, let me buy another piece of property. Let me buy another, and make it income producing. And, and I didn't have, I'd read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? And I'm trying to understand it and going, but okay, so where are my examples? Well, my examples that I was looking up to were folks that were just doing a little bit better than me in it. And they were just as fake as I was trying to make it happen.
Well, and so here's what I'll say on this rating of living on passive income.
Mm-hmm.
First, you have to have the income, the active income, to be able to purchase the passive income.
Yes.
Second, you have to have the desire to follow this unique way of doing things. A lot of people care about your net worth. A lot of people care about, do you have a Bugatti? A lot of people, in the personal finance world, that's not my perspective. My perspective is it's all about passive income. That's what the whole thing is about, that it becomes larger than your monthly expenses. So on the income side, you make enough to be able to go and start buying passive income instead of the business things that we're buying here.
That we're buying, yeah.
The second part is valuing that way of thinking. So when someone comes in here and says, man, I don't have any money, but nope, I am going down the passive income route. I'm not going to think about anything. They get a 5 out of 10 just because of that. You've got the ability to start acquiring that income. So I'm going to give you, for a living on passive income, I'm going to give you a 7 out of 10 because you can do it and you want to do it.
Absolutely.
Now, we're not there.
No.
We just got to shift some things around. But it's like baking a cake. I got all the ingredients right here. On this piece of paper, I have all the ingredients to kind of create a plan that will produce the outcome that you want. Okay. The last L, because there's 2 L's in this, is to leave a legacy. Buddy, you've already done it, man. You get a 10 out of 10. Even if you passed away right now, think about how many lives you've touched with the coaching, the youth coaching, the high school coaching, the 8 kids, the 16 grandkids. They're going to say nothing but nice. They're going to be like, Dr. B was the man. So you've already left a legacy. And you want to, and dude, you have this, I almost wish I could go outside of 10, like 14 out of 10, because you're sitting here having these podcasts about,
yeah, I do
living this way and relationships to AI. And like, you're really trying to help people, which is noble. That's really noble and that's really great. So from a legacy perspective, that's good. My only challenge is going to be this. Okay, we've cared about a lot of other people over the last 60 years.
Yeah.
It is time to start caring about you and your wife. It's time to start caring about your end of life care. Just like your clients come in and they go, I don't have a trust. I need a reverse mortgage. You're going to be in that position, not in that exact position, but in, hey, I need some help later in life if we don't get things changed right now. Like, this is like, we can't start today. We got to start yesterday type thing. Okay.
Well, why I'm so excited about the next 15, 20 years of my life, because I watched my dad. Yeah, my dad's 86 years old right now.
That's great.
And we ran in a track meet in Boulder in July, and it was my grandkids, my kid, me and my dad, 4 generations that we went and watched him run 100 meters at 86.
Beautiful.
And so, and that my family gets to live that long, and I just want to live that long. And like every Sunday I do something for my grandkids where, now I'm doing storybooks with AI and Gemini and stuff, and we're creating storybooks, or I did a thing about each of their names. So each week for 6 weeks. The
books and all the, like for, for a dyslexic guy, you've written a heck of a lot of books. Gee whiz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, because they told me I couldn't do it.
Awesome.
So if you would have told me I can't do all this, now you're telling me I can. So I'm going to go prove it. Yeah. It's going to be cool.
So I'm going to give you a success plan. It's probably going to be a little bit longer than I usually do, but I want to give you a success plan. So we've done your rating. You got a 33 out of 50.
Okay.
So it's passing, right? We have all the ingredients. We're now just going to go and bake the cake. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot better than that English teacher gave me in 9th grade.
or the state of Colorado when you're trying to be a PE teacher.
Kick rocks. You're not going to coach PE in this here state. You non-speller, you.
Brian Regan he's a comedian, talked about a spelling bee that he was in when he was a kid. And he's like, man, I hate doing these spelling bees. Hey, spell cat, K-A-T, I'm out of here. I'm done.
Yeah, they didn't let me in to spell.
Yeah.
You sit over there and watch. Yeah.
So the first thing that we've got to do, we have to separate your business expenses on a P&L, profit and loss statement, from your personal. Okay. You need to set a nominal salary for yourself.
Okay.
Because you're likely paying more in payroll taxes than you need to. Okay. So for instance, like a lot of people will set their salary at like $24,000, $36,000, right? That own businesses. So they're paying themselves something. So the IRS is like, yes, this is what, you can pay this. But because it's all business expenses, treat it as such. So for instance, your Wi-Fi, your car insurance, like all of it, because you drive to your speaking engagements, don't you? Right? Like you travel for certain things.
Yeah.
Like anything that could be considered a business expense needs to be a business expense. Okay. So we don't want to settle things up with the government on the tax return. We want to settle that up on private documents that you have a bookkeeper produce for you and a CPA review for you. I'm not a CPA, so I'm not giving you tax advice. All I'm just telling you is this is what I have done. Okay. I have 2 debit cards. I don't even use credit cards.
Okay.
Because we're going to get to that too. Personal, business. If I take a client out to dinner, business. If I take my kids out to dinner, personal.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Gotcha.
Anything that could be considered a business expense, throw it on this card. Your clothes are branded, right? Mm-hmm. Even clothes for like showing up on your podcast. Hey, no, this is wardrobe, right?
Yeah.
The equipment that you use, all that kind of stuff, start running through business expense, because then what it will do is it will show you how much money you're actually making in that business.
Okay.
Because the second step that I'm going to have you do is simplify. Okay. You're going to have to make cuts.
Okay.
Let me ask you, you said you were what kind of coach, track and field? Does everybody make, at high school?
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody make the track and field team?
Nope.
Do you have to do some cuts?
Yep.
Time to cut. Time to cut, coach. Yeah. And it's not because you don't like them. They're perfectly fine human beings. Like kids that you cut, you don't hate them.
No.
Right? It's has nothing to do with that. No. Has everything to do with, is this getting us as a team or you with your wife in the direction that you want them to go? Like, is this going to help us get there? And you've got some things that you're going to have to make a hard decision on that just says, not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
My suggestion would be, the simplify is, get your main hustle. Because I ask you about how much time you're spending. You said 20 hours in the trust, 10 to 15 in the podcast, 10 hours a week in the university, right? That's 40 to 50 hours right there, right? And you didn't even mention anything about your speaking engagements. You didn't mention anything about your writing schedule. You didn't think about any. So you're spending way more time on a whole bunch of other stuff than you even on the top of your mind think about. So simplify.
Okay.
Figure out what's most important to you. Now, I'll give you the way Warren Buffett did it. He said, sit down with a blank piece of paper and write out 20, 30 things, whatever it is. Spend time writing down on the top of your head all the things that you want to accomplish.
Okay.
Just write them all down. Phone away, nothing, just write. Boom, boom, boom. What are all the things that you want to accomplish? Don't spend more than 10 minutes on it. Because if you have to dig down deep, it's really not top of mind.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
Then after that time, he paused and he said, all right, now circle only 5. And guess what, Dr. B? Those are the 5 things that you're going to be doing.
All right.
Now, that doesn't mean that you can't do those other things. But the only rule is you can't do those other things until you've accomplished or taken off one of those other 5 things.
So only 5 active things.
Only 5 things. And so if it's like, I want to write, wonderful, then write. If I want to do this, the trust business, do the trust business. If I want to speak, if you're getting speaking gigs and you can go get $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month, dude, book yourself up, right? So that's the second thing that I said was, so number 1, separate your business expenses from your personal expenses. Okay.
Gotcha.
Secondly, simplify everything.
Okay.
Number 3, hire a bookkeeper, a virtual assistant bookkeeper. You've already done it with this other.
Absolutely.
They're going to cost you $6-8 an hour, right? And you won't even need them for 40 hours. Do them for
10, 15.
10, 15. And I know that might be where, I don't want to have to manage that person, whatever. I have found they'll manage themselves.
Oh, they do. They do amazing.
Just do a really good job. I just need someone to help me with, what am I making? What am I spending? What's at the end, right? So now you've given yourself a small income. We now go get a bookkeeper who tells you how much money you're making at the end. And then from there, that's what you then add to the personal.
Okay.
Okay. So we can not pay taxes on that stuff. We know how much we actually have. We're not guessing. We're not looking at, this bill came in, they got paid. Hey, let's put it into our personal. Now 3 weeks later, we got to go pay. We got to go put it back into the business because it needs to go pay for something.
Gotcha.
Okay. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing is get a personal budget. And that personal budget is going to be off of, here's this small salary that we made, but here's the amount that we know on a month in, month out basis that we can count on from an income perspective. Okay. So it could be like, for instance, we don't even know. We have no idea what it is. And there's no even, like, I could say, hey, we need to go get a budget. All you know is you spend $12,000 a month.
Yeah. And I don't know that personal budget. Yeah.
We don't know any of that stuff.
So
right?
It has to happen.
So those are the top 4 things that came to mind for me.
Okay.
Number 5 is you got to stop with all this debt. Frankly, no more investing in the business. Why? Because you don't need it. You don't need it. There's no reason for you to be investing in your business anymore. You are the business.
It's kind of like when I went to get those accommodations and they said, we don't have anything for you anymore. You've arrived at the
You don't
point
need
where we
to
can't
anymore.
help you. Okay.
Like, you are the business.
Yeah.
Like, what do you need to sell Living Trust? You already have. What do you need to do mortgages? You already have. What do you need to speak? You already have. What do you need to do a podcast? You already have it. Like, there's nothing else to do that. Okay. Now, your wife and her machines, her embroidery stuff, man, we got to get that stuff paid off quick.
Okay.
That is like one of the top ones because you're spending $1,200 a month just on those machines. So think about the stress she feels. She's got to sell thousands of dollars just to pay for this stuff. Okay. We got to first stop the bleeding, which is what I'm saying is, and a lot of people will listen to this and say, this guy just said, don't invest in his business. That's not what I'm not hearing you say that. I am saying don't invest any more money in this business.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah. We got to stop the bleeding because how you invest in the business is different than how I invest in my business. You go out and borrow the money and then put it in there and hope that it's going to produce this great result. And that's not the right way to do it. Yeah. It's just not the right way to do it. The right way to do it is to grow through your residual. In this instance, you have, because that's actually number 6. I've got a 6th one. We've got to start thinking passive/residual. What income can we get that is going to pay us on a month in, month out basis? Okay. So instead of investing in your business, I'm saying go invest in cash flowing assets. Okay. It's going to take no time. In my opinion, it's going to take no time. You're going to pay less in taxes just by doing this one thing. You're going to, just by separating your business and your personal expenses. By you simplifying it, you're going to figure out what makes all the money.
Okay.
And then just double down doing that. Just put your effort towards that. And you're going to go from making $100-something thousand on these trusts to $300,000-$400,000 on the back of other people. That's residual income. When you were telling me about the residual reverse mortgage business, do other people actually do the reverse mortgages, or is it you yourself because you're licensed?
Well, I have 4 agents that are
4 agents underneath you, bro.
That I can.
This is your honey hole, and I know you're like, I don't love it.
No, but I mean,
it's fine. You're good at it.
Yeah,
you know how to do it.
Yeah.
So let's reframe the mentality as, hey, the more reverse mortgages, the more agents I get that are successful, that are getting their commission on the back of my training, the more people I can help in this relationship versus AI or the podcast, something to freedom, journey to freedom. The more young black men you can help down their journey, because you're spending all of this time. The more students you can get on this Become a Person University, right? Your podcast and your university need to be considered, and you can combine them if you want. This is going to be your call. Those need to be side hustles.
Okay.
You need to double down on your main hustle, which is the trust and the reverse mortgages. You're good at it. You make good money at it. You have people working for you. They are your residual income. So I say passive income, and people are like, well, it's not really passive. It's true. It's not really passive. You still have to manage those people. They still call you. I care more about income that you earn without a lot of your effort. That's how I define passive income.
And that part of it, I love, right? I love helping people. If I can learn, training people, helping them become that person and make money. So if I can help as many people as I can make as much money, well, I don't have to write a trust at all, right? I mean,
even better. Yeah, you don't have to write a trust. You just let them handle it.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now they're running their business. You're coaching them on their business coach, right? You're helping them do that. And it's providing you residual income so that you can then go do all of these side hustles without the stress that you're dealing with all this stuff. How much better of a coach on a podcast would you be if you were just like, hey,
oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm not dealing with I'm not dealing with the $600,000
in debt.
I'm not dealing with the $8,600 a month I got to pay to make sure that people aren't knocking on my front door.
Yeah. So true.
And that's the passive income. That's the residual income. And your honey hole, again, is in the trust and the reverse mortgages because you have people working for you to make that happen.
And that's what I like I said, I realized that not a short time ago. And it was like at least the last 6 months been pouring into that and pouring into them. So
I'd hold off on writing books.
Okay. Yeah. I do those when I wake up at 2 a.m. anyways.
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah. I'd double down on that business. I'd use that as my foundation for everything else that I do.
Okay.
And then, but if it's easy, quick money that you can have a VA go slay these things down, keep doing those speaking gigs. And then when you ought to think about the speaking gig though as, oh, I got $5,000 on this. That's going towards that debt. I got $5,000 on this. Is going towards that debt. That makes sense? Because the greatest return on all this stuff is you pay off the $80,000 you got in credit cards.
Yeah.
There's 5 of them with various denominations. I am with Dave Ramsey on this. Go get the lowest denomination one and pay that one off fastest.
The snowball. Yeah. Gotcha.
Do the debt snowball. But when you think about it, like you got $2,000 a month times 12. That's $24,000 a year you're paying towards these credit cards just for the minimum, and they've only lent you $80,000. That's a 30%.
Oh God, yeah.
That's 30%.
Oh yeah.
Like
it's insane right now.
Now the guys in the comments will disagree with me because that's not exactly how the math works. But in my brain, how I look at it is, I pay $24,000 against $80,000 worth of value. And that's $30,000 this year, 30% this year, and more and more and more. It's actually more, and it compounds. So,
and then how much of that 80,000 was true value?
Correct
for me. I mean,
how much turned into anything for you?
Yeah,
that's what I would look at is solidify that. Because here's the other part with the living trust and the reverse mortgage thing. Eventually, it'll outgrow you. You go hire a GM for it. And now you're a 70-year-old dude bumping around speaking while your GM is running that business for you, making you income.
Yeah.
Think about that life.
I know.
That's the residual we're talking about.
Okay.
And you're there. Like you're a highly capable dude. You're incredibly well-spoken. You're incredibly talented. You have a lot of really good things going on. Like it's a simplification and
it's a redirection.
It's just redirection, man. It's just we got the ingredients.
Yeah.
Bake the cake.
Make a good cake. Don't make it.
That's it. It's all literally sitting on this gigantic piece of paper that I wrote all these notes on.
Oh, I love it.
What do you think about all that?
Oh, I love it. Thank you for just because who spends the time with me, right? To have this conversation that is going to say, okay, these are some things you can do to simplify. Because I could ask ChatGPT, right? But ChatGPT is going to just give me pretty much what I'm asking for. But it's going to give me what other people have done. But to have you go, I've done this. I've been here. I've been helping people all these years to be able to do it.
Yeah.
I can see what you can't see, and that's what I look for in mentors. Look for in people is like who can see what I'm not seeing to help me get to where I want to get to. Because if I think I can do it myself, first God has got to be part of it, and the other part of it is God sends people.
That's right.
Your way. And so this is a blessing today.
That's right.
I appreciate you.
Glad we could do it. I'm so glad you're so open, and I appreciate it. You're going to be in great shape. I want to follow up with you. I want to follow up with you in a couple months.
Yeah.
Even next year or whatever, and just kind of see, where we're headed. Because I have a feeling once you go and say, okay, you're gonna get in the car, you're gonna disagree with some of the things that I said, or you're gonna agree with some of the things that I said. And I hope that the things that you agree with me on, you're like, okay, let's at least pursue those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we can you can watch this episode 100 times, right?
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. What's so cool about this format that is different, and I tell my guests, even when I was watching a podcast and trying to get everything, not being the smartest guy on the planet, would go, I'm trying to write everything down and try to read my notes. And there's a button that all of us have called pause, right? We could pause it and listen to it over and over again, right?
Yeah.
If I had come sit with you today and we had this conversation, I'd probably retain 30% of it, 25% of it.
Right.
I would have written down a whole bunch of stuff that I couldn't read, that I couldn't translate. Like, what was he talking about then? But what's so cool about this format as you're doing here is I can watch this 100 times. I can pause. I can write really slow. I can even put it in where ChatGPT or whatever will spell
summarize
it. Yeah, summarize it for me.
Give me the action plan.
Give me an action plan.
That's
Absolutely.
That's right. That's
we're
right.
there. So this is awesome. Thank you.
Dr. B, this has been a pleasure. I'm incredibly impressed with your body of work over these 60 years and really the legacy that you have already left. And I can't wait to see, what some of these adjustments might do for you and how you feel. You've been coaching everybody else. You've been helping everybody else. It's time to start thinking about yourself and your bride. So,
wow, thank you. Thank you.
All
so
right.
much.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one. If something we said hit home for you, drop it in the comments. I read every single one.
Thanks for tuning in to The Real Wealth Formula, hosted by Brad Hovis. If this episode helped you see money and purpose a little differently, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Share with someone who's ready to build real wealth. And keep building the life, purpose, and freedom you were made for. Until next time, keep your goals clear and your wealth real.